Hey guys, I'm doing a video today about the Tornado Cash hack, and I want to talk about how it happened, what the hacker did, how he hijacked by doing a malicious proposal, and I want to start by going through Block Threat Intelligence, which is a Substack by Peter Kaczorzinski. He is a blockchain security researcher at Coinbase, and he's a very experienced Block Threat Intelligence. He's actually the principal Block Threat Intelligence researcher at Coinbase. He's been there for 5 years, and prior to that, he was at FireEye and Mandiant. Wow, so yeah, this guy's been in the business since I was in middle school or elementary school. Yeah, this guy's been around for a while. But I digress. Let's go to his blog. So he's talking about today a couple things: the Ledger, Tornado, Cash Hack, Ledger, Swamp Run, Tracer, and KeyPass, but we're only here for the Tornado Cash. So go down to here, hacks, and I highly recommend you subscribe to Block Threat Intelligence newsletter. It's amazing and very insightful. So on May 20, 2023, the Tornado Cash DAO lost 3.2 million as a result of a governance attack using a Metamorphic proposal. Interestingly, the DAO detected one of the exploits preparation step, but failed to find the malicious proposal. So that's right here when they analyzed it and were actually looking through it, and they did not seem to catch on to it. But let's go back over here. So this link sends us to Rect right here, and Rect talks about a little bit more. So yeah, Rect over here. It's an amazing site if you don't already know it. It's where all the blockchain security researchers get their news from. In a whirlwind of events, Tornado Cash's governance has been taken hostage via a Trojan horse proposal, effectively granting control of the DAO to a single address. While the contracts do not allow for draining of the 275 mil in privacy pools themselves, the exploiter gained control of the Torn governance token, the power to modify the router to reroute deposits and withdrawals, and admin status over Nova. Yesterday, just before midday UTC, the exploiter published another proposal to revert the changes. Oh, okay. Where's this proposal? That was 4 days ago, so that was about Monday. As long as there are no nasty surprises this time, this could be a bullet dodge for the Tornado Cash community. So it looks like they have kind of resolved this or are trying to fix it. But let's go back to the actual hack. And where I first learned about this was Web3 is going great. If you haven't heard of this site, great site. See down here, it even has a ticker for all the amount of money lost to crypto. It's kind of a lot. And I work in the crypto space, blockchain industry. I'm not really a crypto bro. I just more like the decentralized technology, the distributed ledger technology, and programming in general. And it's a shame that it's been riddled with scam after controversy. But again, I digress. Let's go into Tornado Cash. A proposal ostensibly to penalize cheating network participants in Tornado Cash crypto Tumblr project successfully passed a DAO vote. However, the proposal had an extra function, which they subsequently used to steal 1.2 million votes. Now that they have more than 700,000 legitimate Tornado Cash votes, they have full control of the project. So this is a perfect example of how a DAO can be hijacked, and it was a very elusive way he did it. The attacker has already drained locked votes and some of the Torn tokens, which are the governance tokens that both entitle the holder to a vote and also being traded for $5 to $7 around the time of the attack. The attacker now has full control over the DAO, which according to the crypto security researcher Samsung grants him the ability to withdraw all of the locked tokens. So let's go to Samsung's tweet thread because it's very interesting. Let's pull that up here. So I don't know if I could really zoom in on Twitter, but I'll try. So here he's talking about through the malicious proposal, attacker granted themselves 1.2 million votes, and at this time more than 700,000 legitimate votes. So this means through the governance control, the attacker can withdraw all the locked votes, drain all the tokens out of the governance contract, and brick the router. However, the attacker still can't drain the pool funds. And this is where it gets interesting. How did it happen? That's what I love to see. How did it happen? Because I'm here for that. I'm a blockchain security researcher, independent bug bounty hunter. So I like to see how a DAO could actually get taken over. So, while the attacker created the malicious proposal, they claim to have used the same logic as an earlier proposal which had passed. However, that wasn't exactly the truth because they added an extra function. And this right here is where it all happened. So he had a function in there that was only callable by the owner, a modifier right there. And the self-destruct in Solidity is used to clear up space on the blockchain. It basically destroys a smart contract. It destroys it, and usually it sends the remaining ether to whatever address you pass right here. And here he's passing the black hole address payable to 0. So effectively he sent it to black hole address 0 address that nobody can get. So the ether is unattainable. You cannot recover this. It's irreversible. Self-destruct is a way to destroy a contract if you want to, let's say, upgrade or like make a new proposal, and it's a nice way to clear up space on the EVM, the blockchain, so there's not a contract in there that's not being used. And it obviously comes with a way to pass in an address that you could send the remaining ether in that contract to, because that contract's about to get destroyed. And here he passed it to the 0 address, which is bad news. And based off the Rect article, it seems like, when was his tweet thread? Let's go back to his tweet thread. This was 5 days ago. On what day exactly? May 20th. This is on May 22nd. So this was prior to the Rect article coming out with the somewhat good news. So let's see what the very bad news was when it first happened, which is this. Once the proposal was passed by voters, the attackers simply used the emergency stop function to update the proposal logic to grant themselves fake votes. And here's a call trace. Call. Emergency stop. Oh no. Self-destruct. Self-destruct. No. Oh my God, this is bad. But like I said, apparently the Rect article, there's some good news for the tornado community. But this was over the weekend when it originally happened. So now that they have all the votes, they can do whatever they want. In that case, they could simply withdraw 10,000 votes as torn and sold it all. Finally, what can we learn from this? Be careful what you vote for. And another thing, yeah, I've been watching this very closely. The U.S. Treasury has been sanctioning the heck out of Tornado Cash. They do not like it. They do not like it. They hate Tornado Cash. But let's go to see if he actually updated anything about recently about Tornado Cash. Locked votes have been drained. Correction, correctly pointed out that the Tornado Cash Nova deployed to Genosis chain is a proxy that is administered by governance. Therefore, the attacker is able to drain all of the ETH in the pool by the upgraded contract. So he is able to drain all the cash, I guess. And he's saying the log votes have been drained. If the hacker washed the funds through Tornado, this means that the function is not dysfunction. That the function is not dysfunction, right? Tornado will still be used to mix assets, right? Let's see what this guy's response is. Protocol itself is immutable. I think the hackers sold Torn to Bitrex. I honestly think it was some 3-letter agencies that wanted Tornado Cash gone. They did a very sophisticated hack. I'm just kidding, but maybe, you never know. Maybe it was North Korea, but somebody somewhere wanted Tornado Cash gone. So yeah, let's stop watching his and let's go back to the Rect article that was more up to date. So Tornado Cash governance. Cyberpunks strive to become ungovernable. Cyberpunks strive to become ungovernable. But not like this. In the whirlwind of events, Tornado Cash's governance has been taken hostage by a Trojan horse. We just read this. Yesterday, just before midday, the exploiter published another proposal. This was Sunday to revert the changes. As long as there are no nasty surprises, this could be a bullet dodge for them. Repentant Grey Hat. So maybe he's Lazarus intern. Lazarus is the North Korea hacking group, if you guys don't know. Or maybe the hacker's just looking to pump and dump the remaining Torn. But yeah, that's bad. And this has this is more into it. Rect investigates. It's been a tough year for DeFi's go-to crypto mixer, from the sanctions by the US government leveled in August and the jailing of the core developer Alex, now released pending trial. Oh yeah, what happened with Alex? But yeah, let's not get distracted. Last week there were worries that someone was attempting to exploit Tornado Cash's governance system, creating multiple addresses and locking 0 Torn to the governance wallet. Given that nothing immediately came out of it, it was dismissed as a failed attempt. Was it a decoy or a predatory move? Let's look at the exploiter's addresses. 1, 2. Oh no, they got the disclaimer on Etherscan. The reports that this address was used as an exploit on Tornado Cash. Exercise caution, reported by Sam Cezong. He's a famous dude. Now let's go to the other one. This one as well. You never want this red banner on your smart contract on Etherscan, ever. In my opinion, it's, as a blockchain developer, Solidity engineer, it's the equivalent of medical malpractice when you have a hacked smart contract. Even though it wasn't something in the code that got that DAO hacked, it was people voting on a malicious contract. So it was more the people's fault and not the immutable code. So you know how, like, there's a joke amongst crypto bros that people that don't like crypto bros, they're like, code is law, right? And then when the code gets hacked, they're like, well, you guys signed up for this, code is law. But in this example, it wasn't a novice developer that wrote a bug or anything. So let's keep reading. The successful attack was smuggled in undercover of a proposal to penalize certain cheating relayers, while the code reportedly used the same logic as a previous proposal. So that's initially how he probably got it to go through. He used the same code, used the same logic, as a previous proposal, so didn't raise any bells. The attacker had an extra function which allowed them to self-destruct the contract, and that's the extra function that we looked at right here, baby. Right here, baby. Emergency stop, self-destruct. Oh my God. But let's keep going. The proposal contract itself was created via a deployer contract by combining create and create2 opcodes. An attacker could take advantage of deterministic deployment. So create2 is a very interesting opcode in Solidity. It allows you to predefine the address that you're deploying to. So normally in Solidity, when you deploy a smart contract, it gets generated an address. But here, with create2, I can tell the smart contract that I'm deploying what the address is of my other contract. So I'm basically making an address prior to deploying, and use a little salt. It's a little complex. Use some assembly and some salt, and then you could create your own address before you deploy. And that's necessary sometimes when you need to interact with the contract and it's not deployed yet or doesn't have an address yet. At least I think I'm saying off the top of my head, but somewhere along those lines. The attacker could take advantage of the deterministic deployment to deploy the new code into the address approved by the governance. So the attacker deploy via create2, made a second duplicate contract, deployer contract, deploy via create, proposal contract. Using self-destruct, the hacker was able to erase the approved code, simultaneously resetting their nonce and allowing of a redeployment of a malicious contract. So this is a beautiful example of create with create2. So like I said, create2, it's exactly what it sounds like. You're creating a second address, predefined second address. Okay, so BlockSex Yajing Zhu explains. Option 1, use create2 opcode to create a malicious proposal contract. This would raise a red flag since create2 and self-destruct are used together. Option 2, use create2 to create a deployer contract, this one, which further deploys a malicious proposal contract using create. Then the deployer contract is self-destructed to reset the nonce. It's self-destructed to reset the nonce, and it can create a new proposal at the same address. 4, that's because the address of the deploy contract. That's because the address of the deploy contract using create depends on the sender of the nonce and enabling the attacker to create a new proposal with the same address. These techniques for creating metamorphic contracts are one of the reasons that some have called for the self-destruct opcode to be deprecated. People want self-destruct to be deprecated because, yeah, it can be used when you do a create2 metamorphic contract. So we can deep dive into metamorphics later if you guys want. Promise and pair of metamorphic contracts. Let's see where it says create2. Create2. There it is. Yeah, let me freshen up on create2 real quick. If you know anything about smart contracts in Ethereum, you know they're immutable. Once the bytecode has been deployed, it stays there unless the contract calls self-destruct. That sounds obvious enough to you. Brace yourself because the rules of the game are going to change. The content of Noble Hard Fork includes the famous EIP 1014, which introduces the new create2 opcode. This enables a new form of wild magic here. Under the right conditions, a contract can be destroyed, then redeployed with the same address. Like I said, when I use create2, let's say I'll destroy the previous contract, right? But I'm using create2 to define in my code, in the opcode, in the assembly code, and adding some salt That's how I remember it looking like in code. And then I'm using the address of the one I'm about to destroy. So I'm destroying that contract, and then I'm deploying a new contract with that same address. So it's pointing to my second contract that was made with CREATE2. Very, very advanced solidity technique that can do some damage. So the malicious proposal was then assigned 10,000 torrent to all addresses. The malicious proposal then assigned 10,000 torrent to all addresses created in the last week. It's presumed failed exploit. They were unlocked with the withdrawal from the vault, granting the exploiter 1.2 million votes and full control of the governance. See BlockX chart for full breakdown. Let's check that out, baby. Beautiful chart. Okay, so the proposal passed right here on these block numbers. These are the block numbers that happened. So this proposal was passed. He created the proposal. This was the attacker too. Proposal. Now where's the second? Block 0 torn. Proposal time lock period. So from block 553. No, I'm missing something. Yeah, it's a couple blocks ahead. So 172, 172, 4, 9, 854. Yeah, so it's about 40,000 blocks, 30,000 blocks ahead in the future. So this step prepares for a couple. I'm trying to follow this chart. It's my first time looking at it. Yeah, so I'd have to dissect this chart later, but let's go back to the wrecked article. An unexpected turn of events, though, the exploiter later published a proposal to revert the effects of their hostile takeover, handing back control to the DAO. So I wonder where that's going to go. Apart from the 430 ETH, hacker may have other motivations. Either they're giga trolling or it would end up being an expensive but not disastrous lesson in governance security. I mean, note that we don't have a choice in regards to the proposal, but it is still important nonetheless. Hopefully, it's devastating. So let's check out their least recent news. This is the proposal. Yeah, let's look up Tornado Cash news. Let's see what's going on. What's the latest news on Tornado Cash? It's just nothing but sanctions. That's all I see. Tornado Cash sanctions key to drop in crypto hacks last quarter. Controversial crypto mixer gets hacked. U.S. lawyers challenging U.S. So it looks like Tornado Cash's lawyers are fighting back. Tornado Cash attacker to potentially get back to governance. So this is 3 days ago. Still the same date as the article from Wrecked. So yeah, they got wrecked, man. That's a lesson in basically CREATE2. Create and CREATE2 with SelfDESTRUCT. CREATE2 and SelfDESTRUCT can do some damage. So if you're a DAO hacker or up-inspiring DAO hacker, remember that CREATE2 and SelfDESTRUCT follow the same steps he did. But it's not going to be that easy. Of course, all DAOs are going to be on the lookout for any type of malicious activity like that. But it's very, very interesting to look at how these types of hacks go into detail. And I'll make some more videos covering blockchain security and blockchain security research. And thank you guys for watching. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and tell me what you guys want to see next.